perfection is a state of being that you're seeing coming out of a poet like C. Impregnating the minds of the listener, growing the consciousness of the audience in a fertile environment, bouncing on the walls of your mental womb.
I pray the Lord keeps me in his collection. I hope he inhales my efforts like smokers do Dexys.
Cause it does please me to see my kids' hearts filled with joy. I give my life for my girl and boy.
Late breaking news, Centennial Olympic Park has just had an explosion. Let's go live. In an underground laboratory beneath the desert in Arizona, there was a scientist with a diabolical scheme to fabricate a race of people with a robotic-like nature.
I've been in the recording industry, music business, for about 19 years. I started out imitating Michael Jackson in 1984, and that led to writing my own music, and I started getting into the Minneapolis music sound, which consisted of Prince, The Time, Jesse Johnson, Morris Day, Andre Simone, Alexander Neal, Maserati. Then I became an independent artist and started writing my own records. I put out my first record in 1987. Called Foot Fantasy. And I followed up with it when I met up with a producer that I grew up with from high school and junior high named George Scott. And we came together and I produced, or I wrote and co-produced. He produced and co-wrote a couple songs we did called Can I Follow You and The Work Shuffle. And we did those records, put that on a 12-inch record. It wound up being a local hit. And I got played every day for about 10 times a day for about a year straight. They were just pumping it on about 3 or 4 radio stations in Minneapolis. I sent off to several other stations around the country, and I was getting reported airplay in different cities. And also I got played on Radio Scope Showcase. That summer was like off the hook. I mean, I got featured at the Minnesota Black Music Awards. I won a Satman Video Award for Best Local Video. I was just always doing radio appearances and doing shows around town, and they were pumping my name, Phillipe, all over. So I became a household.
Can you guess Philippe's age then?
25.
You're correct.
25. We do have a correct answer, finally, and you're going to win a copy of Philippe's 2-song 12-inch EP entitled, and it has the songs called Can I Follow You and Work Shuffle. So just hold on the line, and we'll get your name and number and that kind of thing, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Walker, for calling in. You finally did it, Phillipe.
Minneapolis funk sound, I developed a sound that pretty much I could say was original.
I wish and dream about sex, though love is deeper and more complex. I'll try not to fall into love's deep well and be engulfed into its mystical spell. So come take a journey into my world of fantasy. I'm sure you will enjoy my beautiful.
I started calling in on radio stations doing spoken word. They would let me speak my poetry every week, and the announcer wound up naming me a philosopher, well, a prophet and a poet. I would call him and say I'm a philosopher. And he said, you're a prophet and a poet. And I said, well, what do you know? Phillipe, the philosopher, the prophet, and the poet.
By the way, I'm Phillipe, the philosopher, the prophet, and the poet.
Phillipe, the philosopher, the prophet, and the poet. I'm Phillipe, the philosopher, the prophet, and the poet.
Phillipe, the philosopher, the prophet, and the poet. The underground activist, the pro-black raptivist, the liberator, the freedom fighter, the people united, the conscious writer. Black on the right track, bailing in 2001. Upward bound and guaranteed to get the job done. Patient, emancipation, ejaculation, exploration, exploitation, nation, penetration, mulatto, molested, my language, digested, plantation, protested, get arrested, runaway of Davis's honest core. Then he survived, scream on the moor. Fred Hampton, Mark Clark, Bobby Hutton left their mark. Louis Farrakhan, Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Mumia Abu Jamal, and that's not all. Keep fighting for our rights to win our liberation. Cause if we don't get freedom, then we'll burn this fucking nation. So what's it gonna be? Rape for reparations, rape for reparations, rape for reparations. What's it gonna be? Rape for reparations. The whole world's waiting to see.
I like the way that people speak the soft-spoken words that have such a strong meaning that hits the heart.
Give it up for us. Listen. Jigga. How easy is that?
The moon glows. Slow is the movement of the wind in my fourth window. Trees blow. Maya Angelou, Miles Davis saxophone.
We live out here right outside our spot every Thursday night here at the Irish Bread and Underground Atlanta. Poetic perfection is basically having a God-given talent, being morally and spiritually grounded to make sure that you carry out His will. God don't make mistakes, so if you're doing it for His will, just know it's already written.
If we simulate those which held us in bondage, then we are accepted.
I think about spoken word, what comes to my mind is that it gives our community a chance to have a conversation with ourselves.
I started back in 1993, along with Askia Toure, an elder poet, barber, author of from the pyramids to the projects. Also, he's won many awards, and he and I saw fit to put together Club Kaumba, the open mic poetry set. And we started here in Fihankra. At the time, it was called Jolie African. Back in 1993. And so we used to have poets come forward, and they share their poems, 3 poets, and then we give them a critique to let them know, hey, if this, structure and form and all of this, a lot of people, they get upset about that, talking about, well, you can't tell me how to write and this and that.
Right.
A lot of people get offended, but it's not even about that. Basically, it's just about trying to do the best and be the best poets we can be.
I'm one who travels in time. I open up the portals in your mind. I come from the days of an ancient civilization that I can never leave behind.
I was hoping that we could grasp it and hold on to like a conscious movement, and keep it cultural and political and conscious and uplift. But it has fell into the hands, and I knew that it was coming. It would fall into the hands of people who would take it into lower levels, such as some of the music that you hear in hip-hop, which turned off into a degrading state, I knew that poetry was going to get into that one day, and I was hoping that we could take control of it, keep control of it, but I guess there are forces, powers that be, that there may be a such organization or agency such as Ponytail Pro.
We always want to have like this selected group of people that they work with. It's just like, why not give everybody an opportunity? Because, I say it's, okay, we all got beef. I mean, there's beef that's around, but ain't nobody eat. You know what I'm saying? If there's beef, then why can't we eat? If there's beef, then why can't we eat? If there's beef, then why can't we eat?
There's some poets, that are new to the scene and think that they created poetry, but you know, you got to realize that poetry has been going on for so many thousands of years, and it's been passed on from generation after generation. You have to honor the ancestors. And that's why I give much love and props to the last poets, and Gil Scott-Heron and Oscar Brown and Sonia Sanchez, and the people who have influenced me. The Public Enemy, KRS-One, and all of my influences. I've never tried to claim that I'm totally 100% self-made, but you know, they helped to influence me and give much love. I would hope that the new generation remembers that same concept, and they don't forget the people who influenced them and passed them the torch. And that's one of the problems with the poet circuit today, is not enough people are recognizing that and remembering. They're thinking, you know, it's all them, and they're getting a big head, and, you know, that's damage to the industry and the legacy of poetry itself, or any form of music. You know, they don't do that. They don't forget about the R&B artists when they got influenced by people back in the 60s and 70s. They don't forget about those artists, you know. So that's what I want to say. Put that out there, so hopefully y'all hear that.